Well, the snow is done, but we are not done with the winter elements.
Let's give you a live look at Big Rock Interchange in Little Rock. Still very chilly and threatening to be very slippery overnight. For that reason, we have another weather impact alert set for tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. I am Rolly Hoyt.
And I'm Faith Woodard. The snow is done falling, but we're still keeping an eye on everything.
Yeah, it's Tom Brannan with a very busy week who issued that weather impact alert this morning. Tell us why, sir.
Well, the reason why is because temperatures are going to drop off below freezing tonight, and all that slush on the roadways is going to eventually refreeze into a sheet of ice. And drivers usually don't like that, and your cars don't either, as a matter of fact. But our numbers outside right now, if there's any good news, the temperatures haven't dropped off below freezing in Little Rock, Hot Springs, or even Pine Bluff yet. They are dropping off quickly in northwest Arkansas. The reason here is that we are seeing some clearing in the northwestern part of the state. When those skies clear out, the temperatures are going to drop. All of the heat that we had that was built up is going to radiate out into space. That's just what happens when you have a lot of snow on the ground. But a lot of lower to mid 30s. We're still melting, expecting to drop into the teens. Now here's what could stop that. If the clouds don't break up, then we may reach the middle 20s, and we could still see some patchy fog develop tomorrow. So with the weather impact alert for tomorrow for the first few hours of the day, it's because of the black ice, and it's because of patchy freezing fog. That's a tough one to say. Freezing fog. Hazardous travel is the reason why. Here's future radar. We are expecting skies to break up across the region tonight. There may be some fog that develops tomorrow morning and maybe even a few flurries during the day. All in all, expecting a little more sunshine Saturday and Sunday, and our temperatures are expected to warm up above freezing tomorrow and especially on Sunday. Partly cloudy both days, upper 30s to low 40s. Snow totals and pictures from you on the way in just a few minutes.
All right, Tom, thank you. And if you didn't convince us to keep the car in park, maybe this will.
Yeah, we've been following several wrecks along the interstates today. For instance, Carlisle and I-40 around 10:30 this morning. Traffic sitting still for a bit while crews move some vehicles.
Then just 20 minutes later and 20 miles east on I-40, this was the scene near Briscoe, an 18-wheeler going off the road.
A couple hours later, this popped up just outside the metro. Another 18-wheeler losing control on I-40 between Galloway and Kerr Road.
Finally, we saw this mess on I-30 in Rockport, and this one, it's unclear what started the backup, but traffic slowed to a crawl from Social Hill to Benton. If you were caught in this, it took you more than 2 hours to get just 30 miles.
Yeah, part of the stubborn problems we have seen all day taking place west of the metro, and a persistent trouble spot along Highway 70 in Lonsdale. Our crews came upon this mess here with tractor trailers jackknifed in both directions. National Guard and state troopers from that part of the state very busy clearing the way. No reports of any serious injuries from these crashes. And all that happened when we could see what was on the roads.
And it could get worse overnight. The sun came out this afternoon, melting some snow, which has a chance of freezing in places, and you won't see it coming.
So RDOT crews are out right now trying to get ahead of that possible black ice. TH11's Rebecca Brown working a double for us on this Friday, keeping an eye on the roads. She's in Little Rock.
Rebecca, I know you spoke with RDOT earlier. What are they doing overnight, and how have the roads been for you and photojournalist Danny Moore?
Good evening, Faith and Rolly. Danny and I managed to make it here safely, and to give you guys a closer look of how I-630 is looking here tonight in Little Rock. For the most part, roads and interstates are largely clear, but appearances can be deceiving. A big thing that even our Chief Tom Brannan mentioned earlier is that ice, and that's a big concern for RDOT just moving into those temperatures dropping as we go through the night. And this is why, because we keep stressing throughout the day to please stay home if you can, and this is why, because according to Dave Parker at RDOT, since 2 o'clock this evening or afternoon, of 177 incidents happened across the state, of which 118 of those were accidents. So this is why we're really stressing, if you don't have to drive, please don't. Some of those hot spots that Dave saw those accidents occur were around Interstate 30, around Garland County and Saline County, which our friends Carter 3 and Tyler Cass got stuck in as well. So Parker is just urging drivers to be patient and just cooperate with authorities as we work through or navigate through this wintry condition.
I'm hoping tomorrow's a whole lot better, but we're not back to normal yet. I don't want people to let the guard down at all. The interstates are looking much better statewide, but we still got to get through at least until Sunday.
According to Dave Parker, road crews are already out and they are laying down a rock salt. So it's different than that super brine they were laying out earlier throughout the day. This one is more gritty and abrasive, and their hope is that it breaks up the ice and let crews plow away it all easily. Again, your biggest hazard for drivers that are going to get out is this ice. And of course, Chief Tom Brandon can tell you more about that. And as we always keep saying, if you can, please stay home and be safe during this time. Reporting live in Little Rock, Rebecca Brown, THV 11 News.
Gritty and abrasive. At least our mood is not to that point yet. Rebecca, thanks so much. Now, if you've had $1 for every time you heard someone here on our station or anywhere say, stay home if you can, you definitely have some cash in your pocket.
Yeah, but for some, not getting out just isn't an option. So what should you know if you are forced to get out tomorrow before the ice melts?
We all think we know the rules of the road, but some of those driving tips you've heard for years might not be as helpful as you think. Kyle Johnson with the Verify team shows us which winter driving advice you should follow and which tips you should leave on the side of the road.
These are the top 3 things that you should do. First, keep your distance from other cars on the road. Second, never slam on the gas or the brake pedal, and get your car prepared for whatever happens. That means filling up on gas, checking your tire pressure and tread, and always keep an emergency kit handy. Our sources also weighed in on some common questions around snow driving. First up, should you speed up before you get to a hill? AAA says hitting the gas hard could make your wheels spin and reduce your control over the car. Instead, try and get a little inertia going before you reach the hill and let that carry you up. Next, can children's winter coats make your car seat less safe? The NHTSA says that's true. Puffy coats can lead to loose-fitting harnesses. Instead, dress your child in thinner layers and put blankets or coats on after the harness is secured. And this one is a very common misconception. So Kelley Blue Book says you should actually not put your windshield wipers up before the snow comes. That can damage the springs that keep the wipers flush with the glass. But even if you follow all this advice, you still might find your car slipping on ice. So listen up to this. If you start skidding, take your foot off the gas pedal. Fight that urge to just slam on the brakes and instead tap the brake pedal lightly. And if your car slips to one side or the other, steer your wheel in that direction. All this will help you regain traction and self-correct out of the skid. With your Verify, I'm Kyle Johnson.
It's so hard when you're under pressure there and you're white knuckling. One more tip from AAA, they say not to use cruise control in winter weather like this. I'm a big sinner when it comes to that because I do like it doing the driving for me, but you have to keep attention to it.
Yeah, all of this is important information because you never know until you're actually in the moment. Like you can't panic. That's the biggest thing. And just, say a quick prayer maybe, but quickly regain traction if you can, if you follow some of those tips.
It's all about that traction and be safe. And let's say it one more time. If you don't have to go out, stay home.
Well, a big reason we need those roads clear so first responders can get out and get around. Now, this is what they responded to earlier this morning in Little Rock. Around 3 a.m., a house near Roosevelt actually went up in flames. THV 11's Rebecca Brown caught up with a neighbor who called in the fire and some of the brave men and women who helped put out the flames.
As the storm front was moving through, our fire stations received a 911 call for a residential structure fire. Arriving on scene to a house fully involved, threatening the exposures on either side of it.
Man, they were quick. They were awesome. They were quick. So that's the cool thing. Then they had it out in about 20 minutes. It was so intense. I mean, when I ran to my truck, I got blisters on top of my head. I put my head in the snow.
Hughes, who you just heard from, says the fire did impact his home, but the home that caught fire was vacant, so no one was hurt.
A warming trend this weekend. That's going to be some good news. A couple of 3 hours tomorrow morning, though. We've got the weather impact alert for the freezing fog potential and black ice. But then it'll warm up a little in the afternoon, above freezing, more melting, more thawing. We'll drop off, more black ice Sunday morning, and then warmer Sunday afternoon. Hopefully that will melt away most on the roadways. I'll come back with snow pictures and snow totals after this.